University of West Georgia in Carrollton. The Wolves play here, now in Odyssey Station.
Live from Carrollton, Georgia, this is Sports Pack.
The only place you need to go for West Georgia sports.
Interviews with all your favorite UWG athletes and so much more.
Keeping you up to date with the NFL, NBA, MLB, and everything in between. If you want it, we got it.
I mean, plain and simple, the worst decision Kalen DeBoer has ever made is taking the head coaching position at Alabama.
I wholeheartedly believe that behind Sean Payton and a second-year Bo Nix, the Denver Broncos can dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs and be the AFC West champions.
We're also giving you a platform to have your voice heard with our all-new live call-in segment.
So where else would you want to go? We've got all you need and more right here on Sports Pack. What is up, everybody, and welcome to another fantastic Thursday edition of Sports Pack. I am your host, Richard Reed, joined by Ryan Kroger behind the board.
Hello.
Jackson Strader across from me.
What's good?
And Keyshawn Ward to my right. And my dog, Daniel Cheney, running the TriCaster. We
Hi,
have
Daniel.
a jam-packed show, as always. Whole lot to get to. Never enough time to do it. Before we get started, how y'all feeling today?
Feeling good, man. It's Thursday. Had no class today, so I'm full of energy.
I woke up with a smile on my face today.
Yeah,
I know that's right.
That's good, Ryan. That's so good. How can you not love Ryan?
Dude, I love that guy. All right, I'll say that every single show. Nah, dude, this weather's got me feeling great. Women's team winning gold. A little foreshadowing there, dude.
It's been a heck of a day. Like y'all said, woke up with a smile. It's warm outside. I didn't have any classes either. Been getting good news all day. It has definitely been one of the Thursdays of all time. And we're going to make it that much better for you after today's edition of Sports Pack. Before we get started, I must remind you that Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network are proud to boost literacy rates with our pre-K book drive. Our ongoing book drive will provide a new or gently used book to every child at UWG's pre-K monthly. So give today by visiting thewolfuwg.com/book drive. Together, Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network will make a brighter future. That is thewolfuwg.com/book drive. In a recent survey, almost 53% of full-time college students ages 18 to 22 drank alcohol in the past month. That is why Dream City Brewing Company has joined forces with Wolf Sports Network and Wolf Radio's Drink Responsibly campaigns to remind you that there is no drinking under the age of 21, to never drink and drive, even if it's only one drink, and to add food and water when you drink so you don't end up making a mistake and texting your ex, which means know your limits. Now, Ryan, how about them Wolves, man?
Is Widener rolls to the right. He's got some time. Everybody's down at the end zone. He heaves it. And it is caught for a touchdown.
We are one. Go Wolves.
Had a heck of a basketball game going on last night on the road versus the Lipscomb Bisons. Our women's West Georgia Wolves basketball team was on the ropes for a lot of this game. It was a very tight and competitive game against an unsuspecting foe. The Lipscomb is 9-17 overall and only 6-9 in ASUN conference play. So our Wolves, we're kind of thinking they were going to march in there, get an easy win, and keep on pushing as we look to end off this season strong with 4 wins to end off the season and get pretty favorable seeding going into the ASUN conference tournament. But Lipscomb had another thing coming. They came at us the entire game, and we were able to squeak away with a 1-point win after an outstanding buzzer beater from Sydney Tolbert. Schrader, I want to kick it to you first. What was your biggest takeaway from this game?
This team's still gritty. I mean, this team, these are underrated situations as the team as Lipscomb as an underdog, right? They're basically just playing for a shot at the conference tournament just to be able to keep playing with each other. And when you're playing a team like that that's playing just so they can have more of a season rather than us, right? We're trying to contend. We have high hopes for this season. Lipscomb's just playing to play, and that's a tough team to play and a scary team to play, especially on their court. So to be able to go in there, have a hard-fought win, have a bunch of players step up, like we had at least 4 girls score over double digits, which we kind of talked about last time, is if we can do that, if we can win as a team, rely on each other, that's what we need to do. That's what they did. They got it done in overtime, and Sydney Tolbert, I mean, she's just a dog.
Schrader, I completely agree with you. This team's gritty, and they're riding the momentum. They just beat Austin Peay, riding that momentum, and now they went in knowing that they should have won this game. Kind of got out of them for a little bit there, but at the last second, I mean, we just talked about Sidney Tolbert with 3.8 seconds left, hitting the buzzer beater to win it for the Wolves. So this team is just riding the momentum, riding the wave like they're surfing, and this team's looking good.
Absolutely, man. They showed resilience last night. They led the game all through the first 3 quarters. Up until that fourth quarter, Lipscomb kind of fought back a little bit, kept it a tight game, forced the overtime win. But our girls showed resilience and dominance. And, came out with the dub, completing it to the last buzzer, and hitting the last second shot just to get a win.
Yeah, and I'll be brief here. I'm extremely impressed with this team. I agree with you all. Wins like this are extremely important. You don't want to just blow out every team in front of you. For the teams that really make things happen in March when it comes to college basketball are the teams that can win any type of game.
Yeah.
They can get out in front of you and blow you out the entire time. They can stay in your hip pocket when you have the lead all game, find a way to rally. If they had the lead the entire game and you rally late, they can still battle. I love this West Georgia Wolves team because they've shown they can beat anybody in any way.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of teams that really make a big-time impact come March. Now, our men's team kind of had the opposite thing happen last night on the road in Kentucky when they took on the Eastern Kentucky Colonels. There was another overtime thriller that showed our guys end up losing that game 81-80 in what was an extremely entertaining game. Our leading scorer, as always at this point, was Shelton Williams-Dryden with 20 points and 6 rebounds to go along with it. Had a very good game overall, but the Wolves just couldn't bring it home, Ryan.
Yeah, they trailed 50-36 with under 15 minutes to go in the second half, but they staged almost a comeback, only losing that by 1 point. Yeah. And Shelton Williams-Dryden dropping 16 second half points. I mean, this team's got the oomph that they need. They just don't got enough to get them over the hump. But right. I see possibly a better team coming out next time, but they had the comeback, but just didn't have enough to do it.
This is a team that has been able to compete with everyone in this conference, no matter their record. Even early in the season, when we were playing crazy teams like UCLA, this team showed flashes of being able to compete with just about anyone. It's just, like you said, it seems like something's missing.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll tell you what's missing. Chaz Lulis is what's missing. Our starting point guard from earlier this season was incredible at the start of conference play. He was amazing. And then adding him to the trio of him, Shelton Williams-Dryden, and Josh Smith off the bench, it was incredible. Then our 2 big men, Kenneth Chime and Javar Daniel down low, it was incredible. Dave Moore was finally getting to relax a little bit. He doesn't relax much, but he was getting to relax a little bit. And then, obviously, disaster strikes. Chaz Lulis goes down. Haven't seen Micah Smith play all year, and he was said to have been incredible in the offseason, but he's had a nagging injury that's kept him off the floor as well. So, Schrader, it's really been injuries that have limited what could have been a very, very good West Georgia men's basketball team.
Yeah, I think a great way to kind of summarize this season is just so close yet so far. Right? They're able to stay in games, but they just can't close it out, and that's becoming a reoccurring theme. It's happening, all the time, and it's tough to see. This is a team that you want to see succeed, and you could say, if we had Chaz, dude, we could be so much better if we had some of these guys. But that's a lot of ifs, and you don't want to live like that, right? You want these guys to be on the court, doing it now, and it's just they're not able to win these games, and it's getting pretty, I don't want to say frustrating, but just difficult to see. So hopefully they can just, get into the conference tournament and just get a little bit of momentum and not let this loss in overtime, right? This is a close overtime loss. Those are really brutal. They can not let that get to their heads and just get some more wins down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to, at this point, we got to turn to someone else other than Shelton Dryden Williams. He obviously cannot do it on his own. I mean, we all know he's a one-man wrecking crew, but obviously you need somebody else in that backcourt who can handle the ball and, create an open shot without him. Because once he's on the bench, once he's getting a rest, there's really nobody else who can step up. Right. And we need that person preferably on the bench, so when we have somebody that we can sub in, they can come in, play, run at the same pace, run at the same flow, and keep the momentum flowing. So I think that's all that the Wolves are missing.
Right, and we've seen Josh Smith be able to do that in flashes, but there's a reason he's a sixth man. He's a little inconsistent. When he's on, he is incredible to watch, must-see TV. But It's just those inconsistencies. And like we were saying a second ago, we're just missing certain pieces. And I feel like the guys that we would have seen step up in times where Shelton wasn't just able to shoulder the entire burden are the guys that we're missing right now. It's kind of easy to say that, but we saw it with Chaz Lulis. And I've heard great things about Micah Smith. He was an incredible high school basketball player at Sandy Creek High School. Shout out to Patriots. I know I got a lot of friends that went there. But, we just haven't seen it. A lot of the guys that we felt like should be stepping up either just haven't or haven't been available to do so. So I'm hoping we can finish this season strong, and I hate to say this, but build towards next year.
Yep.
Now, pivoting over to the Diamond, our West Georgia men's baseball team was on the road in Kennesaw, Georgia, taking on the Kennesaw State Owls this past Tuesday. We lost that game 9-4, had a few highlights, hit a home run in that game, but weren't able to get it done. Now, looking forward to this weekend, Ryan. We have a series on the road in Little Rock, Arkansas versus Little Rock University. We play 3 games this weekend, first game being at 4 p.m. on Friday, 3 p.m. game on Saturday, then a 2 p.m. game on Sunday to close out the series. What do you expect from our guys this weekend?
Look, I expect a sweep, honestly. I expect a sweep, but our pitching has to show up.
Right.
That has been the problem since the beginning. I mean, the season just started, but
last weekend.
going back to even Kennesaw State, great Kennesaw State Owls team, but scored 4 runs, let up 9. It's our pitching. It's our pitching that's the problem. So I think we should get the sweep, but our pitching has to show up.
Yeah, I think Little Rock's definitely inferior competition. So I feel if we can go out there, just have the pitchers do all right. Just get comfortable. Maybe use this as a series for the pitchers to just get a little more comfortable in game, because obviously the bats are doing what they do. Fano Cruz is absolutely unreal, and they're playing great ball on the offensive side of things. But when you're giving up more runs than you're scoring, when you're scoring 4 to 5 consistently, it's pretty brutal. So hopefully we can use this series, 1, get a sweep, and then 2, just use it as a way for the pitchers to get a little more comfortable.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of him, I think this is perfect. Like he said, this Little Rock team is an inferior opponent, right? This is nothing worth being afraid of. So I think going to this game, I think Coach could really use this game as an experimental game, kind of, throw all your pitchers out there, see who does the best, and kind of ride the high hand.
Funny enough, it's actually what they did against Kennesaw. They pitched 9 guys against Kennesaw trying to find an answer. And obviously, none seemed to be very effective. But, that's why we have series like this on the road in Little Rock, Arkansas. I don't know what is out there, but you know what? That'll keep the guys focused. They won't be.
Little Rock, I guess.
Little Rock, man.
They'll be focused out there. No, don't get on no Little Rock out there in Arkansas. You don't want that. You ain't never get off that Little Rock if you get on. Trust me, I've seen it. But anyway, good time for them to get back tuned up. Nice little series. I don't expect a sweep because it's baseball. Anything goes in baseball. But I do expect us to win 2 out of 3 of these games and kind of get back on a roll here. Now, to round us out in this segment, our softball team is currently sitting at 4-7, coming off of a win on the road yesterday against UAB. Big win, very impressive. Won that game 6-4. Looking forward to this weekend. We got a nice little tournament going on with the South Alabama tournament hosted by the University of South Alabama out there in Mobile. Starting off with a game on Friday at 4 p.m. against UT Martin. Then Friday at 6:30 p.m. So we got back-to-back games here against South Alabama. Then Saturday at 12:30 p.m. against the University of North Alabama. Saturday at 5:30 p.m. against UT Martin again. Then rounding out the weekend, Sunday at 10 a.m. against Loyola Chicago. Quick takes here, guys. What do you guys expect from our softball team this weekend?
Yeah, coming off a big win against UAB. Definitely not a game they were supposed to win, but I think momentum is high going into this tournament, so I expect them to do pretty well.
Yeah, it seemed like there's some teams that we can beat, especially knowing we can beat a team like UAB on their field. There's a lot of teams in this tournament that look like we could beat them, so I think it's going to be a huge momentum builder going into conference play.
Yeah, and if Madison McDonald and Jenna Samuel, if they get off to that hot start that they had against UAB, I think they could come in with the dub with the whole tournament because they set the stage strong. Hitting multiple RBIs and hits and also some clutch home runs as well. So if they could keep that same thing going throughout this tournament, it's looking good for our girls.
I'm with you. The UAB performance was incredible. I'm looking to see that momentum continue to snowball and build going into this weekend where we can maybe win 3-4 of those matchups in this weekend. I see a lot of winnable games here. I think this could be a great weekend, end up being a great week for the UWG softball program. We just got to keep things rolling. Now, to round out this segment, I do want to make mention to Schrader's favorite team here. The men's golf team is going on the road to take on Savannah Intercollegiate in Savannah, Georgia. I guess it's the Savannah Intercollegiate Classic. I think that's what it's called. But it's a golf tournament nonetheless. Got a lot of ties to the golf team here at Wolf Sports Network. All of our gingers seem to be infatuated with the golf team.
Dude, I love me some Tyler Neshy, baby.
It's pretty incredible. You know, I heard Phoenix loves on the golfers too.
Oh,
but you know, but that's all the time we have for this segment. We're going to take a quick ad break. But when we return, we're going to dive into this NFL offseason and talk about the dominant women's teams in the Winter Olympics. Stay tuned. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network.
The Playbook is your home for West Georgia sports this spring. From University Stadium,
And we saw a very well put together offense that was trailing and going into the half and then comes out in the third quarter and puts themselves up.
to the Coliseum,
We're finishing well at the rim, being aggressive, being physical. A lot of guys are touching the rock. It's been a great start for the Wolves.
and Cole Field.
I hope West Georgia wins. I'm going to be rooting for West Georgia tomorrow.
The Playbook, live every Monday from 9 to 10 p.m.
Tune in to Wolf Sports Network throughout the week to hear the very best in UWG sports coverage. Catch live shows, score updates, and breaking news all week long. But sometimes seeing really is believing. And now you can watch your favorite Wolf Sports Network shows live on YouTube. Follow at Wolf Sports Network on YouTube as we bring you into the studio with your favorite shows and personalities. Wolf Sports Network. The Wolves play here.
What's up? This is Parker Andell, and I'm the newest voice of Sports Out of Pocket. Step into Lucky Season 7, where the odds are in our favor. Crazy insights, hidden stories, and conversations that will pay off every single time. With a fresh season and a fresh voice, Lucky Sevens is here. Tune in to Sports Out of Pocket every Wednesday at 6, only on Wolf Sports Network.
It's a new semester here at West Georgia, and that means a brand new season of Sports Out of Pocket.
I love Jameis Winston to death, but look at the guy. Like, come on, that's not the veteran quarterback that I want to be. He's a locker room guy.
They got Jonathan Taylor back there. It's like having Saquon, just a little bit worse, but it's like having Saquon.
Tune in to Season 7 of Sports Out of Pocket every Wednesday at 6, only on Wolf Sports Network.
Ever wanted to support your favorite station while eating Waffle House hash browns? Wolf Radio is hosting a Spirit Night February 24th from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Maple Street Waffle House. That is the Maple Street Waffle House, not any others, on February 24th from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. Your scattered, smothered order will cover our needs. Waffle House Spirit Night, 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Tuesday, February 24th at the Maple Street location.
In the NFL, only one thing matters: chasing a dynasty. Things are getting good in the NFL world. You know, it always goes quiet for a little while after the Super Bowl.
But it ain't ever gone.
We are a week away, Schrader. Just 1 week away from the NFL Combine. And since the Combine is getting close, obviously we're going to talk a lot about it next week, preview some prospects, some people that we really think could fly up draft boards, kind of like people like DK Metcalf have done in years past. But before we get into that, I think it's only fair that we talk about what's going on right now in free agency, because a lot of people are starting to make moves. A lot of players' contracts are starting to expire, and this could be a big year for a lot of guys that could get a big payday, and for a lot of teams to really give themselves a facelift, similar to what the New England Patriots just did, going from a 4-win team in the bottom of their conference to a Super Bowl contender. So, Ryan, I want to start with you here. Is there one team in particular that you think could go from worst to first with one good offseason?
Well, y'all might not agree with me, but because I'm from Cleveland,
all right,
I think the Cleveland Browns.
I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I did that. I should not have thrown it in first.
No,
go ahead, give me the pitch.
But you know, listen. We got our quarterback. We got our quarterback. Shedeur Sanders, Pro Bowl quarterback.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, no. We don't need him.
Move,
we don't need him. I think if we can get some wide receivers, we got Jerry Jeudy, who was supposed to, be good. He wasn't good. He wasn't good last year. All said and done. I think if we get ourselves some wide receivers, we got solid defense. Defense isn't our problem. I think I know all of our offensive line is going into free agency. I think if we get some offensive line guys, some wide receivers,
You think y'all could go from worst to first?
I think we can go worst to first. I think we're Super Bowl contenders.
In the AFC North.
Yeah.
The AFC North that has the Baltimore Ravens, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Cincinnati Bengals. That AFC
dream,
North,
bro.
Down but not out.
Let him dream.
he looks so happy. And because of that, let's not ruin his happiness. Let's just move on and leave him out of the rest of the segment. So, Keyshawn, I want to go to you here because when we look at a bunch of notable free agents right now, you have guys like George Pickens, who is expected to be franchise tagged by the Cowboys, but as of right now, he's still just listed as a free agent. Alec Pierce, Breece Hall, big names all around the league. Even if you look at the Cleveland Browns, David Njoku's a free agent.
Right.
A tight end, another tight end. Kyle Pitts is a free agent. Tyreek Hill is going to be a free agent. So when you look at these big names floating around, who's one guy that you're really looking at that can make a huge impact on whatever team he moves to?
I'm gonna go with George Pickens because you got a lot of teams out, right? He's surefire receiver one. You got a lot of teams out here who's needing that receiver one. You got teams like the Chargers who needs one. You got the Buccaneers. Well, yeah,
Mike Evans is a free agent.
Mike is free agent.
They got Ibuka. I think
they got
Ibuka, but
you got Ibuka. But
could you imagine Ibuka with George Pickens?
That pairing would be crazy.
Incredible.
That pairing would be crazy with Baker Mayfield at quarterback. He's still pretty nice. So when you look at these names, you got George Pickens. You also got a Kyle Pitts as well. Right. He's a good tight end. He could line up as receiver. So when you factor in what you could do with Kyle Pitts, you could spread him out. You could keep him in tight. There's a lot of versatility there. So I think those two names are the big playmakers on offense who could make a splash on a new team with the right system and QB. I could see them both going for 1,000 yards each.
And Schrader, when we're looking at this big picture here, George Pickens, obviously, big name guy. The Cowboys are notoriously difficult when dealing with free agents.
Really?
They're going to try to franchise tag them, and it's probably going to be a whole dramatic thing that's going to stretch out the entire offseason to the end of training camp when he decides to stay as a Cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real here. Jerry Jones is not going to let him go.
He's a headache.
Right. He's a headache. He's not going to try to let him go here. But I'm looking at your Miami Dolphins.
I know.
And it's already been announced that they are going to release Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
He is going to be a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think Tyreek Hill is going to go back to Kansas City. But I've heard some other pitches as well. Where do you expect the Dolphins star to end up?
I think Kansas City is kind of what makes sense in my mind. One, because things ain't looking good for Rashee Rice right now. And so they're kind of in that. They have a need for a wide receiver, and why not bring back the guy that kind of started it all with Patrick Mahomes? Especially with Patrick Mahomes taking this pay cut to free up like $30 million in cap. Like he just took a huge pay cut so that they can build around him. So I really like him there, or teams like the Chargers, teams that could use a receiver, but it's also kind of a risky signing. Because this Tyreek Hill, after whatever he just did to his knee, is not going to be the same Tyreek Hill that we've seen in years past. The guy that can run by anybody, that's always wide open, that you can just yuck it down the field for. Right, he's a cheetah. It's not going to be that guy because his leg looked the other way. Like it wasn't a good sight. And so it's going to be interesting to see whoever gets him and to see how they're going to play him if he's even ready to go week 1.
Right. This is a year 10 Tyreek Hill coming off of a torn ACL.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Tyreek Hill is one of the best athletes in football. Insane speed. Like you said, Ryan, they call him the cheetah for a reason. He's ridiculous. He's pretty much unguardable, especially when there's another dynamic weapon on the other side. You just have to pick your poison. So I do understand it is difficult to make this move for Tyreek Hill, but I do think we're going to see a team kind of swoop in, scoop him up, bring him in on a shorter-term deal, maybe like a 2-year, $15, $20-ish million deal. Since he is still Tyreek Hill, he's going to demand that kind of money, which is fair. He has a crazy body of work. 2 years, $15, $20 million is fair. Kansas City, I understand it, but at the same time, I'm not sure if Tyreek Hill is going to want to do it because Mahomes is out, just tore his ACL. He's going to be out for the vast majority of the season. Probably won't have a chance of coming back until a potential playoff run. Their backup quarterback, Gardner Minshew, also tore his ACL as well. So their primary focus right now is bringing in a quarterback that can kind of keep the ship afloat for a little while until Patrick Mahomes comes back. So when I start looking around the league here for possible suitors for Tyreek Hill, obviously your mind goes to places like Baltimore. You see like the Ravens, they're obviously going to try to stack the deck so they can try to get a title out of Lamar Jackson in what will probably be Derrick Henry's last year playing at a high level in the NFL. But then you also keep looking around like, man, bird teams. All right, said the Ravens already. Who else could possibly make this happen? And your mind has to go to the Atlanta Falcons. It has to. Because you look at this roster, right? There's a top 15 offensive line in Atlanta. There's Drake London, who is a young emerging star at receiver. You have Bijan Robinson as well, who is insane, one of the best running backs in all of football right now, a transcendent talent out of the backfield. But Drake London needs help. It's really just Drake London against the world. Darnell Mooney was supposed to be that number 2 guy, but really did not produce this season. I say if you go out and get a Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle, but I'm talking about Tyreek Hill here, pair him up with Drake London. That's right there. It's already an incredible wide receiver duo because Drake London's borderline unguardable already. Then you go out and get Tyreek Hill. Yes, he may be older, but the cheetah is still the cheetah, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen people come back from crazy injuries recently, and a torn ACL. People can do that for breakfast.
It was
these
a
days.
whole lot more than a torn ACL.
Yeah, I know, but
once again, that thing was backwards.
Listen. I trust Tyreek Hill will be back and good to go, and he won't have as much pressure on him because of Drake London. I think Tyreek Hill, Drake London, and Bijan Robinson can make for one of the most explosive offenses in football. But then the question becomes, what do you do at the quarterback position? Because, Michael Penix's legs are not holding up very well.
Here's the thing with the Falcons, and I think Tyreek Hill sounds great, and I think the Falcons' biggest need outside of probably the quarterback position is a solid wide receiver too.
100%.
I think that's 100% what they need to be looking at.
Yeah.
I just don't know if Tyreek Hill is going to be the best fit for multiple reasons, but my biggest one is I'm pretty sure you guys tried to sign the veteran who just had an injury a couple of years ago.
Yep, you're right.
And it did not work well. And I think that left a bad taste probably in the front office's mouth. And I don't think that Matt Ryan wants to take that big of a risk in his first offseason, is going out and getting a guy who, he has a great resume, but he just had a pretty gruesome injury. He's been out for a while, and honestly, I don't think Tyreek Hill's going to be ready week 1.
And this is why you don't throw him the long-term contract. Like Rich said, you give him a 2-year deal, $10 million or $15 million deal, and say, hey, prove it, see what this guy can do.
Yeah, but the Falcons don't necessarily have the cap to just be throwing out deals like this.
You're right, they don't. But you're right. It is it comes down to cap because you still even if you pick him up, you still need a QB.
And honestly, I understand that, especially when you bring in the rationale with it. We just kind of saw the Falcons make this move, and it really kind of set this franchise back extra couple years because it ended up being a terrible move in hindsight. So when looking at that and looking at this draft class, it may not be the most transcendent draft class in the world when it comes to wide receivers, but there's a lot of good talent here.
Yes.
Obviously, when we look at the top of the draft, Carnell Tate, probably one of the best receivers in college football. Jordan Tyson from Arizona State, a dog.
Who's kind of dropping.
Jordan Tyson is kind of dropping, but the Falcons don't have a first-round pick, so we're not going to talk about why either. We're just going to ignore that. Malachi Lemon, the Belendikov winner from this year, another great receiver in this draft. But I'm looking at guys, because what the Falcons need right now, because obviously Drake London, big, deep ball threat, 50-50 ball guy, can do just about anything. You need a guy on the inside that can kill you on the inside, run those short intermediate routes, kind of like a Emeka Egbuka that's just a great route runner, can always find a way to get open. And when I'm looking for that, I'm thinking of 2 guys here. Jeremy Bernard from the University of Alabama and Omar Cooper Jr. from Indiana. Just won the national championship with the Hoosiers, had over 1,000 receiving yards for them. I feel like those 2 guys added to Drake London and Bijan Robinson with good quarterback play can be big-time difference makers in the South.
Bernard would be great. I watched him, obviously, when Florida State beat Alabama. Don't forget that did happen. He was wide open all the time. And even if you watched Alabama throughout the season, he wasn't doing anything crazy. He was just always open. And that's really what you need, because you need a good check down guy or a guy that you put him on a crosser 99% of the time he's going to be there. A good second read. And I think Jeremy Bernard would be an outstanding pick for the Falcons.
Yeah, and I think the big thing about him is his route running too. And if you have good route running, you don't have to have amazing speed because you're going to get the corner on his back heels.
Exactly.
And you're going to get him all clumsy and lazy. So.
Right. And that's what we've seen excel in the NFL recently. Even when we look back just this past season with Jackson Smith and Jigba, he's not the fastest guy in the world. He's not the biggest. He's not the strongest. But he's extremely smart. He knows exactly what to do, and he's a route technician. These are the guys that dominate in the NFL right now.
Just like Devontae Adams has done for a decade. And also you look at a guy like Jeremy Bernard. You're not bringing him into Atlanta and saying, hey, you got to be the guy. You got to be the guy day one. This isn't Drake London's situation, right? Drake London got there. Drake London was supposed to be the future. He had all this pressure. You're just telling him, hey, get open. We'll get the ball to you.
Make it happen.
Exactly.
Right, and he brings in a different skill set than Drake made too. Not Drake made, Drake London. Because when you think of Drake London, you think of him as a 50-50 guy, jump ball receiver. When you factor in Jeremy Bernard, he's not. He can do that, but that's not really his play style, right? He's more so find a space in a zone, sit there, get open, and produce after the catch. So I think if you bring him in, throw him into a slide, he could be an easy contender for a receiver 2 position there in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be incredible. I think Jeremy Bernard is definitely the answer if they decide to go wide receiver in the draft. And honestly, it's more responsible financially. You're not taking a big risk on an aging Tyreek Hill. You're not going to have to give up the big-time money that you would have to a guy like Tyreek Hill or even a Jalen Waddle. Go out, get Jeremy Bernard. He will be your quarterback's best friend. And like you said, Schrader, he just somehow is always open. And that's not luck. It's not busted coverage. That in itself is a skill. Now, we're going to really take a deep dive into the Combine next week, but for now, we got some more sports to talk about. The Winter Olympics has been nothing short of incredible, and today lived up to the hype as well, as we got to watch our U.S. women's hockey team bring home gold.
USA.
In an incredible overtime matchup against none other than our foes from up north.
The losers.
Canada. The Maple Leafs. It was incredible. Canada jumped out early in the second period, went up 1-0, kind of held that lead for a lot of the match. And then late in the third period, we tied it up to take it into overtime, where it was sudden death, 3v3, sudden death. First goal wins, and our girls found a way to make it happen. It was nothing short of incredible, Schrader.
Yeah, okay, so this is one of those hockey games that for about 58 minutes, Canada was in full control.
Yep.
I mean, I was watching this. I hate Canada when it comes to athletics. I can't stand those people up north. And in this game, it was brutal because I'm all for, I love American hockey. I think this is our sport now. I think we're taking it from them.
Oh, yeah.
But watching this, it just seemed like we couldn't get anything going. Canada was consistently holding the puck in their zone. It was just brutal. And for about 58 minutes, it felt that way until we broke the ice, until we scored with 2 minutes left. I mean, Hillary Knight she's been on, this is what, her 4th Olympics. She's captain. She means everything to this hockey team. She scored that goal, and it was huge. It just brought momentum that you haven't seen in a long time. And then in overtime, Megan Keller scored one of the craziest goals I've seen in a long time. They call him a dangler crazy for a reason. I mean, she moved the puck around the defender, backhanded it right under the goalie. It was an outstanding goal, outstanding way to get the gold medal, and to put the poutine eaters down.
Listen, I've never really been invested in a hockey game or a hockey match, and that kind of stood that ground as I watched this game, as you said, for the first 58 minutes. But then the United States scored, and I'm starting to think, okay, here we go. This is going to get exciting. And then it went on to overtime with the 3v3, and there's some going through the lane, going to one-on-one shot with the goalie. And I'm like, okay, this is getting fun. And then when the United States run it, yeah! So I had a
that was a great way to sum it up, Ryan.
That was story I've ever heard in my life.
That was amazing.
I loved it. I've never really been a huge hockey fan, but I think I'm growing after I just saw that game.
Yeah, I'm have to agree. I mean, I don't really know too much about hockey, but other than that, their jerseys are absolutely flawless. But I mean, this gold medal game really kind of opened my eyes to it because, like y'all said, I mean, Canada was in full control throughout the entire match up until the last couple of minutes in the third when Hillary Knight hit that game clutching tying field goal right there. So I mean, it was honestly a good matchup. They came out, secured their 3rd gold medal of all time, and got their get back from the 2020 Canada win, so I'm proud of our girls.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something there. Sorry.
Dude, I'm just happy we put Canada down. Now we just got to look to the men's, dude.
Yep. Our men team play, tomorrow at 8 a.m.?
Yeah, I think we play Slovakia tomorrow. Yeah. It's at 3:10. And then the gold, who told me 8 a.m. If we win, the gold medal game is at 8:10 on Sunday morning.
Gotcha. See, I knew I wasn't completely wrong here. But shout out to our women's hockey team bringing home gold, and also for Alyssa Liu for bringing home gold in figure skating. That is the USA's first medal in figure skating since 2002. So we won 2 gold medals today. It's going up. It's been incredible. The gold medal counter is indeed going up. We're currently sitting at 2nd place after today's performances with 27 total gold medals, right behind Norway, who has 34 to Memphis.
They're putting belt.
But you know what? We're in second place.
It's
and
always
we're
cold
climbing.
up there. There ain't
We're
nothing else to do.
There's nothing else to do.
They
in
don't
Norway.
have an excuse if they don't win.
Right. Like, how can you be from Norway and not perform well in the Winter Olympics?
Exactly.
That would just be ridiculous. Now, to pivot over to the hardwood, the NBA is getting back in action after what felt like a very brief All-Star weekend. An All-Star weekend that gave a lot of hope to a lot of people, myself included, after the performances ended up being extremely entertaining. The All-Star game was great. We talked about it a lot on Monday's show. But everybody that watches the NBA knows that the season really gets started after All-Star break. No matter how lackluster that weekend may be, the season really gets rolling after the break. And we're starting off the right way tonight at 7:30 with a massive matchup in the East between the first-ranked Detroit Pistons, who are currently sitting at 40-13. They're going on the road to Madison Square Garden to take on the 35-20 New York Knicks, who have a very impressive home record of 21-7. So, Keyshawn, I want to start with you here. Mm-hmm. What do you expect from this matchup, and do you think this game could be an Eastern Conference Finals preview?
The way it's going right now, I definitely think it could, because Detroit, they're sitting comfortably at number one. They've been dominating their opponents all season. Currently sitting at 40-13, as well as the New York Knicks. They're 35-20, sitting at third. So, I mean, if the Knicks could come out and win, they make a strong case for that second position. It could go down all the way into the conference title to decide who possibly could go into the finals. But with tonight's game, I kind of like Detroit's favor. I mean, they kind of, like I said, they've been hitting on all cylinders. Cade Cunningham has finally grown into the player that we all thought he would. He's playing out of his mind. Possibly, he could be in a conversation for a couple of awards, even at MVP. It's not crazy to put him in MVP conversation. So I kind of like Detroit right now. They've won all prior matchups this season. So I mean, things are looking good. Are they playing at home? Do you know if they're playing home or not?
The Knicks are at home.
Okay. So the Knicks does have the home corner advantage, but like you said, it's a Madison Square Garden. Everybody shows out there, no matter if it's home or away. Mm-hmm. So it likes to be bright. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, first game back in MSG. I got to go with the Knicks here. I think it's going to be a close game. Obviously, the Pistons, they're a great team. They're the best team in the East. Mm-hmm. But the Knicks, man, they don't lose in Madison Square Garden that often. It's the first game back. Ben Stiller's going to be there. Everybody's going to be there. It's going to be a rowdy place. I think Jalen Brunson and company get it done.
Yeah, I want to. It's hard. I think I'm going to go with the Knicks here, because Detroit, they do have Cade Cunningham. But Jalen Duran is suspended, so he's their leading rebounder. So I just don't think it's going to be as strong on the boards without him. And it's going to be close, but Knicks are going to take this.
Jalen Duran is suspended, so I think it's going to kind of open the door for the Knicks to take this one. Like you said, Keyshawn, the Pistons have won every matchup between these two teams so far this year. So I think it's really the perfect time for the Knicks to kind of shake it up. No Jalen Duran, Cade Cunningham, and the guys will be on their own. Still think it's going to be a very entertaining game, but I think the Knicks find a way to win this one at home in the Garden. Now, we're running out of time here, but I do want to ask you a quick question here, Ryan. So your hometown Cleveland Cavaliers are currently sitting at 34-21, fourth in the East, but not far back, only a few games back. They're 7 games out of first place, but right there in reach, only 2 games behind the Boston Celtics, who are currently sitting as the 2 seed in the East right now. How confident are you in this Cleveland Cavaliers team, especially after your addition of James Harden?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident. At the beginning of the season, it was kind of one of those things that we just didn't seem like we were connected. We weren't really clicking. Right. But then in the second half of the first half, we started to really turn it around, I think. And adding James Harden, I think, was a really good idea. And we lost Evan Mobley at the end due to, I forget what the injury was. But coming out of All-Star break, I think we're all going to click on one cylinder, and I really do see us making a solid playoff run.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the rest of the East shakes out. Now, before we wrap this segment up, I do have to remind you all that our hometown Atlanta Hawks are also in action tonight at 7 on the road in Philly, taking on the 30-24 76ers. The Hawks are actually favored with ESPN Analytics today, given a 51.2% chance to take down the Sixers on the road in Philly. Only time will tell. Game starts right as the show ends, so once you get done watching Sports Back, be sure to tune in to the FanDuel Sports Network to check out our hometown Atlanta Hawks and see what they have in store for us. They have some very interesting stuff on the FanDuel Sports Network. Trader, remember we were in Jefferson's and it was just like them random dudes off the street boxing?
Those are just like random hillbillies they just found out back, and they just threw them in the octagon, dude.
Like
the heavyweights was like like a 400-pound dude against like a 350-pound dude. Like it was
Goodness
It was incredible.
And Richard and I were invested. Yo.
We were definitely invested. And one way you can also invest in us here at Wolf Sports Network is by visiting our merch store. Go to wolfsportsnetwork.com, click the About tab in the top right, and click Merch Store to check out all the amazing things we have. From trucker hats to T-shirts, hoodies, graphic tees, whatever it is you want, we got at our merch store. If there's something in there that we don't have, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Wolf Sports Network, DM us, and we just might add it to the store for you. Now don't press that button yet, because when we come back from this quick ad break, we're going to dive into what's going to be another insane weekend of college basketball. Stay tuned. Right here is Sports Back on Wolf Sports Network.
Get ready to hit the jackpot. Sports Out of Pocket is back for Season 7. The Lucky Seven's final season with me, Jackson Voles. From wild debates to the boldest takes in the game, Jackson is going all in for his final run. 7 seasons, 1 final spin. Don't miss it. Catch Sports Out of Pocket every Wednesday at 6, only on Wolf Sports Network.
April 9th, 2026. Wolfstock, the event of the year. Bring your friends and family out for fun games, prizes, and most importantly, good music from local artists. But why trust me? Because my name is Bliss, and I'll be performing at Wolfstock 2026, and I hope to see you there. Wolf Sports Network. The Wolves play here.
We're favored to make the playoffs. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, man. All this sports talk is making me kind of hungry. I really could go for an all-star special right now.
Oh yeah, did somebody say all-star special? Well, lucky for you, Wolf Sports Network is hosting a spirit night at the Maple Street Waffle House on February 24th from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is a chance for you to come out and support our station and maybe even grab yourself the all-star special that I know you're craving. And remember, the Wolves play here.
WSN, Wolf Sports Network, will have you covered this West Georgia basketball season with Inside the Coliseum, our 30-minute pregame show that will start 1 hour before select home games.
But we saw his ability to make those tough shots. He is a shooter, and he was second in scoring behind Shelton Williams-Dryden.
I think we just need to get everybody the ball as much as possible. I think we need to throw the rock around.
Join us as we cover both the men's and women's basketball seasons from Inside the Coliseum.
Wait a minute. Is this what I think it is? Wii Sports? Let's try something. Let me tell you all about this show on Wolf Sports Network. Get with the playbook. Get with the playbook. Get with the playbook. It's the playbook. Hear us talk about all of college football, basketball, and baseball. Mondays from 9 to 10 p.m. The Playbook on Wolf Sports Network.
Your UWG Wolves softball team plays Jacksonville State on Tuesday, February 24th, the same day as our Wolf Sports Network Spirit Night, where we will be at the Maple Street Waffle House from 2 to 9 p.m., where you will have a chance to support us. Your scattered, smothered, covered order will cover our needs and bring you the best sports coverage available. So come out to join us Tuesday, February 24th from 2 to 9 p.m. at the Maple Street Waffle House. That is February 24th from 2 to 9 p.m. at the Maple Street Waffle House. Now, we are getting eerily close to March, and these games are heating up time and time again. I want to start off with a game that went down last night in the SEC, with the 20th ranked Arkansas Razorbacks going on the road to Tuscaloosa to take on the 25th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. The game was incredible. We saw the Alabama Crimson Tide win it 117 to 115 in overtime. It was insane. We saw major point explosions from Darius Acuff Jr., who dropped 49, 49 points for the Razorbacks.
That's an NBA stat right there.
40 minutes?
Dude, he played 50. He played 50.
I don't think he came out.
He played 50. Yeah, he played the entire game. And LeBaron Philon Jr. from Alabama dropped 35 as well to help will the Crimson Tide to a major conference win. Ryan, I want to start with you here. What do you think about these two teams out of the SEC?
Man, I mean, 117 to 115, that's an NBA score right there. That's not something you see every day. And then 49 points from Acuff Jr., I mean, that's just unheard of in men's college basketball. So I think if you didn't know who these two teams are then, I think you might want to know who they are now because they're going to most likely make a push for March Madness.
Right, and Schrader, when I look at these two teams, I just think, man, if one of them can learn how to play defense, they might be unstoppable.
Bro, for real, because, you look at this game. Oh, it was double overtime. Okay, because I was thinking that guy had 49 points in a game, which would be 40 minutes. And I was like, dude, that's more than a point a minute. That's kind of crazy. But, yeah, if these two teams learn how to play defense, bro, they got a pretty high ceiling. Especially, Arkansas. They're coached by Calipari.
Oh, yeah.
I heard through the grapevine that he might be a good college basketball coach. But, if these guys, you just learn how to play defense, play like Michigan State. Just play like Michigan State, man. Just play the way the game is intended to
If
be
Michigan
played.
State had an offense like that,
exactly,
they would have won 3 in a row.
Dude, what if they just use the power of friendship, make a super team, go out there
Use
and
the
win
power
March?
of friendship.
The NCAA might allow it. They're not sure what their
For
rules
real,
are.
dude. The NCAA don't stand for nothing. Just let it happen.
The Michigan State Rolling Tide.
Yeah, with these two teams, with this performance by both guys, they're both making a strong case for the SEC. Alabama here gets their 5th straight win, which puts them second in the standings. So I think that's really strong for their resume. But even though this was a loss for Arkansas, you got to kind of look at this like, hey, even though this was lost, they still put up a stellar performance, right? With help from Darius Akoff, who's making a name for himself as well. He's rising his stock in the draft. So things are looking good for both teams. They're both right now, I believe, 19-4, 9-4 in the conference play. So LeBaron Fine, he went for a career high 35 with help from Aiden Sherrill, who put up 26 points along with 13 rebounds. So both these teams got some guys. They got help on the back end and in the front court. So if they keep playing the way they're playing, add a touch of defense in there, they can both make strong cases for an ACC title.
Right. These are both really talented teams that can really make big time pushes come March in the SEC tournament and in the overall March Madness bracket. And while we're talking about teams that are most likely going to make some noise in March, we got to go back to the Arizona Wildcats. They're on a bit of a two-game losing streak going into last night, where they hosted the 23-ranked BYU Cougars, led by AJ DeBonza, who came out and dropped 35 points and 7 rebounds.
He don't pass the ball.
But it still wasn't enough. There was really nobody to pass the ball to last night. Their second leading scorer only had 13, and the only other guy on the court had 10.
They don't play like our women's team, bro.
They sure don't, because the Arizona Wildcats still found a way to get it done, winning 75-68 and putting that 2-game losing streak to bed. Now, looking forward for Arizona, this Saturday they're traveling on the road to take on the number 2 team in the land, the Houston Cougars, in another top 5 Big 12 matchup. So, Keyshawn, when we're looking at this game here, do you think Arizona gets their 3rd loss of the season, or do they keep rolling and remind everyone why they were 24-0 to start this thing?
It's kind of tough to predict this one. You have the number 2 team versus the number 4 team, right? Both teams have been playing on fascinating on all cylinders, right? Arizona, they kind of had a little slip up on their way with a 2-game losing streak. They found a way to bounce back from that well versus BYU. So they're coming into this Houston game with all head straight, right? They don't want to give up their 3rd loss because that puts a dent in their conference play. But for Houston, they're coming in with a top defense. I believe may even be a top 3 defense in all of college basketball. And they're actually ahead in the predictor. They have a 65% chance of winning this game. So Arizona at 24-2 being an underdog, that's kind of wild for them. I think that gives them a little bit of confidence and a little bit of something, a chip on the shoulder to play with coming into this game. So if they could slow down the playmaking ability of Kingston Flemings and kind of control the paint and the boards, I think they could find a way to pull it out.
Yeah, I think this is one. I don't think I can see Arizona losing again. I don't see you starting off 24-0 as dominant as you did just to go 1-3 in your next 4. But also, you kind of look at it as Arizona's taken 2 good right hooks to the chin. They've had to collect themselves, but now they've kind of been knocked down, and everybody's going, all right, they're kind of out of it. I think Houston's got this. Houston's the top dog now. I think Arizona's going to go, oh, we never left because we're right back on our feet. We're going to throw some punches of our own. I think they're going to go out here. They're going to make a statement. And they're going to put themselves right back atop the Big 12 and right in the driver's seat for March.
Schrader, I agree with you for the most part.
I thought I liked this.
Especially when you said I don't see Arizona losing their 3rd after starting off 24-0. But I go back to when Houston played Iowa State the other night. That might have been one of the best college basketball games I've seen. I don't watch much college basketball, but as of what I've seen, the defense from both sides was outstanding. So when I bring Houston now to their game on Saturday against Arizona, if Houston plays that defense like they did against Iowa State, I just don't see Arizona pulling this one off. So I think it could really go either way, but I'm going to go Houston.
See, I love this Houston team. I love the way they play. They always bring a very well-coached – Kelvin Sampson always brings a very well-coached team to the court, play hard-nosed defense, dominate on defensive rebounds, do not allow second-chance shots. But when you look at this Arizona team, they're extremely balanced. They also play great defense as well. They're extremely aggressive. They can create a lot of turnovers, and they capitalize when they get turnovers. That's a big thing for this Arizona team. So when you look at this game, it's going to be a scrappy one. It's Big 12 basketball, 2 top 5 teams in the country that both play good defense. They're going to do battle. But when I look at Arizona, they have so many more weapons.
Yeah.
There are so many killers, just outright killers on this team, and that is what sets them apart. Because when you get past Kingston Flemings and dang, I'm blanking. Hold on. Let me pull my stat sheets back up. Hold on. 2 seconds. Sorry, guys. 4th wall break. Look, I'm messing up here. When you get past Kingston Flemings and Milos Uzan, it gets a little rough for this team because Milos Uzan hasn't really been as efficient as he was last season. A lot of people thought he could have been a first-round pick if he would have went out last year, but he decided to come back to Houston, but he's had a down year since then. Emmanuel Sharp is still a 3-point marksman, averaging 16 points a game. When you get past Kingston Flemings and Sharp, it gets a little shaky. Chris Sinak has shown flashes of what he can do, but really hasn't done it consistently. Neither is Uzan. Well, when you look at Arizona, there's just guy on guy on guy on guy. Pause. But there's a lot of people that can outright kill you on this team, and that's what I think is going to set them apart against Houston. When Milos Uzan and Emmanuel Sharp go cold for the Cougars, I think is when we'll see a lot of different guys step up for Arizona, make big shots in timely moments, and that's what's going to set them apart. I think it's going to be a great game, but I got Arizona winning this thing 78-69. I think the Wildcats get it done. Now we got to make some quick picks here because we kind of lingered on that game for a second. But we have the number 1 team in the country, the 25-1 Michigan Wolverines, going out of conference for what is very rare for this time of the year, to Chapel Hill to take on the 3rd-ranked Duke Blue Devils. Not Chapel Hill.
It's in D.C.
Yeah, they're going to take on the 3rd-ranked Duke Blue Devils, who are currently sitting at 24-2. Duke is slightly favored in this game, but these are 2 of the top teams in the country and could very well be a Final Four preview, Schrader.
Yeah, so first, I think this is a neutral site game in D.C.
It is. You're right. It is.
Why in the world are we doing this in mid-February? That's funky. But I'm going to stick with my ACC pride. I like Duke. I think they're going to get it done here against Michigan. One, just because D.C. is a little closer to Duke than it is to Michigan, so there might be some more Cameron crazy guys there.
Good stats. Good stats.
Yeah. I know ball. But I think that this Duke team's just really good. And I really like the ACC. I love how competitive it is. ACC basketball, it's something special. And I think that Duke's really gonna put themselves honestly in contention for that for a number 1 seed going into March. I think that they're the front runners in the ACC. I think getting a good win against the best team in the nation would be an outstanding way to kickstart their march to March.
Yeah, I'm at the agree. I'm gonna go with Duke in this with this one. Look, Cameron Boozer, absolute dog. Nobody has been able to stop him all season. But I mean, it's not just him. Isaiah Evans, he's kind of the dark horse of that team as well, getting it done on the backcourt. He's kind of the second man to Cameron Boozer, and they gel together very well. That whole offense kind of fits together very well. The chemistry is there. This Michigan State is not Michigan State. This Michigan team, though, this is a good team in their own right, though. You have Elliot Cadeau running the point. He's been playmaking all season. His turnovers has been a bit high, but his assist numbers has also been a bit high. So when you share the ball like that, the turnovers are going to be there. He just has to look past them. But I think if Duke come and they catch fire very quickly, why are you looking like that? Did I come on? What I say?
Just keep talking. I didn't say anything. Just keep talking. I didn't do anything. Just keep talking.
Richard is clip forming over here. The camera didn't catch it, but
I have done nothing.
I see it afterwards once I go back and rewind. But I'm gonna go with Duke with this one. I like Cameron Boozer. I like Isaiah Evans. I think they're gonna come back.
I said nothing. I said nothing.
Hey, innocent till proven guilty.
I agree with both of y'all actually, which this is gonna make Richard have to pick Michigan, but. I'm taking Duke in this one. Both teams are very fundamentally sound, for sure, but I've just lost my complete train of thought. I'm taking Duke.
It's Richard's fault.
I have done nothing wrong. I've done nothing to you people. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. But you know what? It's okay, Ryan. Because I was going to pick Michigan anyway. I really love this Michigan Wolverines team. They're very well-rounded. I like this Duke team as well, but I fear they're a little top-heavy. This Michigan team is deep. They have the same problem Arizona has, where they can kill you from every single angle. They have so many different guys that can go up and make big-time buckets at the right time. They have a very experienced point guard in Elliot Cadeau running the offense. I believe in this Michigan team. I think they're going to play very deep into March, and I think they're going to play a potential game of the year tonight against Duke. Because there's another thing about Michigan as well that kind of goes under the radar. They win a lot of close games. And when you win a lot of close games, people find a way to knock you and say, well, why are these games that close in the first place? But I think if you win more than 3 of them, it's not luck. It's a skill. You are good at playing under immense pressure. You can blow teams out of the water, but you can also play when things get hot, when things don't just go your way the entire game. And that's why I like this Michigan team so much, and that's why I think they're going to get it done in a very close game in our nation's capital this Saturday against Duke. Now, that is all the time we have for Sports Pack tonight. I want to thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch you right here, same bat time, same bat channel, on Monday, right here on Wolf Sports Network. Follow us on social media at Wolf Sports Network because we have a very big announcement coming your way very, very soon, showing you a way you can get involved in the action right here on Sports Pack. But until then, we'll see you on Monday and have a blessed weekend.